Gollwitzer. And I'm sitting with Emily Reach White of Cinema Purgatorio. How do you say Purgatorio?
It's just like that. It's Purgatorio, like the Dante Divine Comedy. You have Purgatorio, Paradiso, and I forget the other one. There's three of them.
Just Purgatory.
And we're sitting with Lavin Cuddihee, who is playing the role of Nick Teasel.
Correct.
And how did you ever come up with the name Teasel? Where did that come from?
That's a good question for you.
That's a really good question. Actually, I co-wrote the screenplay with my husband Chris, but he came up with that name. Some of the characters in the screenplay we named after actual people. Like there's a character in the screenplay, Jen, and she's named for our good friend Jennifer Baxley, who has produced some of our films. And we kind of modeled her character after her, and so we made it her namesake. But other characters, we just came up with the names kind of out of nowhere. And
I think Tease.
Tease was, yeah. Nick Teasel just sounded,
Tease.
yeah,
Tease.
it just sounded right.
So how are things going? You guys were talking about the fact that Chris is in Columbia now.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
What's he working on?
He's just keeping the ball rolling on post-production. There's a lot of different pieces to do. There's the final edit, there's the sound design, the sound mix, color correction, and then working with a score and some music licensing. So right now we're working, I think, with about 5 people who are doing different parts of the post-production, and it's kind of this puzzle because, you know, we need this piece before this person can work. So he's just meeting with our sound design person in Columbia.
How far along are you guys in the curve on this thing?
We are about a month away from having the film finished, I would say.
Any new announcements? Anything that you want to share with us today?
Well, I would say, I mean, the big announcement is that we are premiering June 1st in Columbia, and then June 2nd and 3rd here in Tryon. And we'll be at the Tryon Theater, and we'll start putting that out on the different calendars and arts calendars around town and in the paper.
How does that feel to you, Lavin, premiering in your new hometown?
In my new hometown.
Yeah.
Feels great.
Does it?
Yeah. Nick Teasel, interesting character. And I have to say it was very funny that when Chris and Emily first sent me the script, I was reading it and I was going, I mean, I know these guys, but these guys seem to know me a whole lot better than I know them. You know, it was like, I'm this guy. Now, when you see it in the film, and you're going to go, so that's what you really like? Well, yes.
Well, comedy, right, though, is always like the everyday and the real life person just like twisted or just taken up a notch.
Yes.
So I do think the characters like Lavin just turned up a
Oh,
notch.
yeah, it's twisted. Well, you know, you're on. Yeah. And so when I got the script, I read it, and I was actually very curious as to what Chris and Emily were thinking about. And our first reading at your home.
Yes. So fun.
That was, it was out of the control. Because Chris says, well, you know, just, you know, pull out all the stops. You know, just be as crazy and have as much fun as you can want with it. You know, it was... You know, and I've been through some readings, and you know, most people are like, well, okay, just, you know, can you even read? You know, let's just get through the script, you know, kind of see how it sounds. And Chris is like, well, you know, you want to throw something in? Great improvisational guy. I mean, you know, he encourages improv.
I guess a little bit, I'll just give you the premise of the film. What happens is we have this it's definitely semi-autobiographical. And based off of some of our experiences over the past 4 years. But it's a husband and wife filmmaking team from South Carolina, and they're sort of making ends meet, but they're really not. And they're trying to figure out what to do, like how do we get a breakthrough in our career, and they hear about a 48-hour film festival taking place in Charleston, and the hook is that supposedly Bill Murray is going to be a judge at the festival.
Right.
So they put everything on the line, they get their team together, and they go down to try to impress, basically to try to impress Bill Murray. But everything falls apart, of course, because it's called Cinema Purgatorio. Lavin actually is playing sort of the Bill Murray, like they write a Bill Murray script,
Yeah.
and Lavin plays the actor of the film within a film, and he kind of just plays this actor who is lovably dense, maybe, thinks he knows a lot more.
He's not portraying Bill.
Right. No.
But his character is such as that, things will go by him,
Right.
but then he'll latch on to them like a moment later and then make it his own.
You guys are young filmmakers. You're both in your 30s?
Well, I'm in my 30s. Chris is in his early 40s.
Okay. And so what's it like working as a man-wife team in the film business?
It's really hard. There's lots of arguing because just think of everything you've ever heard, just stereotypical things about artists. They're moody, they're emotional, defensive of their work, or like a band, and bands are always breaking up because of creative differences. So it's like you take a marriage where you tend to have like those irreconcilable husband and wife differences, and then you add a creative partnership on top of it where you have the creative differences, and I think it's really tough. And that's that really is what Cinema Purgatorio is about. It's just like, how do you work with your spouse?
From a creative standpoint, do you feed off each other? Is that a good
yes
that you have?
It is. Even though it's hard, it's worth it. With Cinema Purgatorio, we definitely made each other better. But what I like most about the movie, I would say, is it really is sort of a movie about my marriage to Chris. It's a movie about our marriage, and it's kind of a movie where we're sort of telling each other, we've got something really special here, we've got something great going on, and it's going to be okay. Even if we never get Bill Murray, even if we don't ever have a film breakthrough, we're kind of happy with what we've done and with what we have.
If you were to give a tip to the viewer that's going to see this movie, what would that tip be? What would you want them to know before they go in, or any kind of tip that you want to give them?
To see this is...
It's like your mind, or
no. I'm just thinking that it's more like a carnival.
Right.
It's like you just bought yourself a ticket to a carnival, and there are many rides. Enjoy them all.
Just go for the ride. Yeah.
Okay, how about you?
Well, I would say a similar thing. One thing that we kind of hit on early on when we were writing it was that it is a film about making a film, but it's also, in our minds, a heist movie. So the idea is like Neil and Liz are trying to get away with something. They're trying to get away with going down to Charleston with not enough money. They're trying to get away with pulling off some big, grand heist with their life even. Like, who do we think we are to meet Bill Murray? Like, why do we think he would ever want to be in our film? And it is sort of like, imagine like a heist movie like where they're trying to get a painting, except that painting is Bill Murray. It's a heist comedy. Maybe what I would say.